So here's my view. Former governor, current Senate candidate John Hickenlooper has a contempt problem, one that might be a bigger issue than whatever slap on the wrist penalty he gets for his ethics violations. Hickenlooper goes into history as the first person ever held in contempt by Colorado's Independent Ethics Commission for refusing to show up at his own ethics hearing. Hickenlooper's own appointee to the Ethics Commission said that he showed a disrespect for the rule of law. And disrespect is really what we're talking about when we talk about Hickenlooper's contempt problem. He also showed it when he went off on a journalist asking questions about his ethics investigation, telling our Marshal Zellinger, "You guys should be protecting me on stuff like this." No, we shouldn't. And that was contempt for the free press. And refusing to show at his ethics hearing just as Democratic primary voters are about to decide whether he should be their candidate. I think that shows contempt for those voters who are trying to make an informed choice.